Hello. Today we are talking about why it's so important that you balance or unblock the energy of your sacral chakra if you are trying to manifest, whether it be money, whether it be other forms of abundance, as in health, the job you want, the mate that you want. Obviously, the sacral chakra is located here. Okay, it's below the navel. Okay, right above the pelvic bone. It is governed by the color yellow. I'm sorry, not yellow. Gosh, I'm sorry, orange. Meaning that orange, the color orange, possesses a frequency or vibration that is similar to, or that is the same, or that corresponds, not similar, corresponds to the energy of that particular chakra and the organs that it governs. Now, it governs the feminine womb space. So your reproductive organs are a part of the sacral chakra. And a lot of times the sacral chakra can be closed if you've experienced trauma. It can be too open if you are promiscuous. It can be out of balance, as in overactive or underactive. And the reason why it's so important to get the energy flow in this area going is really, when you think about it, it makes sense. That is your greatest power center. Your womb space is where you create life. And that's why this particular chakra is associated with creativity, zest for life, any and all creative ventures, and your feeling of being free, your feeling of being glad to be alive, your feminine energy, which is all about nurturing, creating, sustaining, maintaining. All of those things take place in the energy of the sacral chakra. Or the sacral chakra is so important. Now, we can talk, and we will talk more specifically about how to actually direct the energy in that space for manifesting, how to use your sexual energy to do that. But today's video is primarily going to be about helping you understand the importance of unblocking the energy in that area. All right. And trying to keep it freely flowing and keeping it in balance, because if it's not in balance, it's as if you're not harnessing the greatest part of your potency in order to fuel your manifestation desires. The imbalance of the sacral chakra is associated with over-emotionalism. It's associated with addictive behavior. It's associated with low self-esteem, lack of self-worth. This is the chakra where we feel our earliest pain and we store our emotions. And so things that can be buried here can be buried from or represent pains from when we were little. This chakra is not always balanced. And actually, if I were to use my personal experiences in my life, and then as well in my practice, many of the women that I see who come in for Reiki healing, oftentimes that sacral chakra is it's a problematic area. Anything that happens in that area that is in opposition to health, such as fibroid tumors, infertility, bladder infections, UTIs, things like that, can always be traced back to the energy in your sacral chakra, your sacral chakra not being balanced, or the energy being blocked. When we talk about the energy, we're talking about the entire body. You're an energetic being, but you have spiritual energy, life force energy that flows throughout your entire body. And when it is flowing freely and unblocked, then you experience high levels of vitality, health, emotional balance, spiritual balance, so intellectual balance. You're able to move through the world in harmony, and you live a very balanced, happy, satisfying life. When any of your chakras are blocked, then you're going to experience a lessening of the flow in that area. And as chakras spin, all right, what will happen is when that area becomes blocked, it doesn't spin like it needs to spin. And eventually what will happen is the other chakras try to compensate by for that particular chakra, and so they then fall out of alignment, and then you have a total system, because here we're talking about the total system. So anything that happens physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually affects that sacral chakra. It's so key, women, that you resolve and heal issues that you may have that are related to emotional trauma or physical trauma that have affected you in that area. If you notice that your hips are very tight, okay, hips being tight, if you have addictive behavior, low self-worth, self-esteem, there are a myriad of other things that you may be dealing with. Not feeling sexually free to express yourself, feeling inhibited, not having a balanced sex drive. Sex is a part of life, and just like eating, when you lose your appetite to eat food, you're out of balance in some particular way. When all you do is eat food and think about food from one meal to the next, you're out of balance in some way. So your sex life is the same way. You need balance in that. You should have a healthy sex drive. If you don't have a healthy sex drive, then you can be sure that the energy of that area is not flowing like it needs to. And if you really think about it, creation, bringing a life into the world, having that energy come into your womb is a sign that the energy that resides in that space is life affirming, it's life giving. It is one of the most powerful energies, and you have that energy within you, within your womb space. So if that energy is blocked for whatever reason, and we have people across the planet going through all sorts of things. Imagine maybe even having been circumcised, or growing up in a culture where sex is seen as bad, or it has to be hidden, or it's you're seen primarily as a receptacle for male enjoyment. Imagine the effect that has not only on the psyche but on the energy of that area. So seeing that the creative force is at its height in that area, and that area gives life to all of your feminine energy, it's important to understand how you can connect that to your ability to manifest. If that area is blocked, and if you consider where it is, it's almost part of your core. That's where you get your strength from. All right? If that area is blocked, it's going to affect your life. It's going to affect you physically. It's going to affect you mentally. It's going to affect you emotionally, and it's going to affect you spiritually. Conversely, if the energy is flowing in that area, if it's moving in that area, and you're feeling alive, and you're feeling vitality, and you're feeling creative, and you're feeling like the light that you are, and you are luxuriating in your feminine energy, all right, and you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling sexy, you're feeling seductive for yourself, not necessarily for another individual, but you are dancing and you're swaying those hips, and you're moving in that feminine energy, and you're being mindful of, not having so much of your masculine energy on display for yourself and for the world, if you will. Just wherever it is that you are in your life, then you're more mindful that, okay, I have my consciousness on this area. So there's so many things that you can do to heal it, but first it's important to recognize when it is out of balance. And as I mentioned, if you are not healthy, don't have a healthy sex life, or a healthy making love life, however you want to refer to it, if you don't have if you're confused about your sexuality, if your sexuality is repressed, if you've had an experienced trauma in that area, you've been raped, or you were sexually abused or molested, things of that nature can give you an idea as to the relative health of that area. It lets you know that healing needs to be done in that sacral chakra space. And so it's very, very important that you do things to free up the energy. The element associated with that sacral chakra is water. So water helps the flow of the energy. And if you think about it, water flows, water brings harmony. All right. And so taking baths, spiritual baths or regular baths, spending extra time in the shower, meditating or focusing on the energy of that area or the color of that area, using citrusy oils like tangerine, orange, lemon and grapefruit help to, keep energy flowing in that area. embracing the color orange, whether it's in the items you have in your house, or eating oranges, or wearing orange accessories. Colors have a vibration that are healing. If you do research on color therapy, you find that it is a legitimate science, that colors affect our mood, they affect our sense of empowerment, they affect our ability to connect with different things. Different colors bring to mind certain emotions and certain mental faculties and so forth. Green, for example, makes us think of love and expansion and growth. We have certain feelings when we think of the color yellow. When we think of red, passion, intensity, confidence, grounding, materialism, manifestation. That's what red is associated with. Try putting red in your bedroom and see how well you're able to relax. It just ain't going to happen. So colors are one way. Certain yoga positions that help you stretch out your hip flexors and draw the energy into this lower abdominal area can be very, very good for helping to free up the energy, along with a multitude of other things. The key, though, is just to remember that oftentimes the energy is not balanced in that area, and life experiences can help to unblock it. Life experiences can block it. Something as simple as us as women growing up in a patriarchal society, where either our sexual identity was being exploited by the media, or it was being totally shut down and associated with weakness. How many of us have heard someone say something like, man, you acting like a pussy? Or we are at a point where in our evolution where we're just reclaiming what this thing actually is, and it's okay for us to say that word, pussy. I mean, who made us feel like it was something wrong with that? So we shut down who we are when we accept other people's definitions of our femininity and our feminine power. And if we go back through the histories before the patriarch, or before some of the religions that disempowered women, or set us in opposition to our essential nature, you will find that the feminine energy, that the womb space, that the vulva, which is really, I think, all of the organs, the vagina is just a canal, but the pussy was actually revered. It was seen as something that, when a woman was on her menses, she fertilized the ground. She was called upon because it was believed that she was more connected to spirit during this time, that her healing frequencies were very high. That womb, that woman, that sacred feminine power and energy was something that was sought after, valued, appreciated, and honored. And nowadays, people have lost some of that, and we've gotten out of the appreciation for the true nature. This is a vehicle for life. It's a vehicle not only for physical life and bringing children into the world, but it's a vehicle for your life. It's a vehicle for you to move energy from your crown chakra back down into the root to actually manifest your desires in this physical world. So your ideas are birthed from this area and given life. So be on the lookout for more videos related to the sacral chakra, and do some Googling and see what you can find out about this area and why it's so important that you be concerned about unblocking the energy in your sacral chakra. Hopefully you got something out of this video. Again, you're with Tanisha Ali of Butterfly Transformations. If you're interested in some of my online classes, please go to butterflytransformations.com and click on the link for Paradigm Academy. I have an array of different courses that may actually interest you. In the Paradigm Academy, I also have another series of courses that are about to come out that are entitled How to Live an Orgasmic Life. And part of one of these courses in the series has to do with reclaiming your sexual energy. And it's something that we can all really benefit from. So as we move forward in our consciousness, as we endeavor to become the best that we can be and to get rid of these energy blocks and other things that have trapped energy and have stood in the pathway of us pursuing our life to the fullest and enjoying life at the greatest level that we're capable of, it's important that we stay abreast and stay mindful of the very unconscious ways in which we are operating and living that are not actually moving us forward. Please like, subscribe, comment, or share, and I look to see you on the next video.